Hey guys, welcome back once again up here to the hillside. Today is going to be something a little bit different. We're actually in the bathroom, but it's not going to get weird. Trust me. What we're going to talk about today, guys, are plants that you can grow in your bathroom in a low light, humid environment where they will absolutely thrive. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. All right, so let's first talk about why growing some of your tropical houseplants in your bathroom is actually not a crazy idea to begin with. One, there's water. You take showers, you take hot baths. So the humidity in the bathroom is actually going to be higher than probably most places in your house. So your tropical plants, like this little heartleaf philodendron right here, is absolutely going to thrive. Okay, so number one, philodendrons. These plants love low light. Okay, there's a natural window I'll show you here in a second where it gets some filtered light. This plant is super healthy. It's doing great. It's on this little shelf over the toilet here. And as it kind of grows down and it gets a little bit too much in the way, I just cut it back and use those for propagations for other plants and give those away, sell them, do what you want with them. But you can always just continuously keep pruning this guy back and it's just going to keep growing and thriving here in this condition. Another thing about growing plants in the bathroom is they're not really going to be, hopefully, I don't know what your bathroom's like, in just full bright open sun, because that would be kind of weird. But so it's not going to dry out nearly as quickly as if it was in a bright sunny like southern facing window or something. So keeping the moisture hydrated and things like that is actually not going to be as much of a challenge as it may or may not be in your other growing locations. Now this is another philodendron, I believe. This is a philodendron brandy, but it's also, I've heard it called something else. So I don't know, but this is just the same difference as the heartleaf philodendron here. These are trailing plants right here. They do great in this lower light environment. Now this with a variegated plant like this, it actually may need a little bit higher light requirement, but so far it's actually doing quite well. It actually was in a spot where it was getting too much light, and you can kind of tell right here, some of these leaves got a little bit crispy, a little bit burned. I think that was from too much sunlight. And since I put it here in the bathroom, it has put all this new growth. This is literally within like a week of growth, all this new stuff right here. So it absolutely loves where it's at right now. And just like the philodendron I showed you, once this plant starts developing its aerial roots right there, if you want to, you can just chop this off and propagate more plants. So look above here. And this is a plant you probably all recognize. This is the ZZ plant. Also should be called the easy plant because it's basically impossible to kill. It doesn't like excess water, so you don't have to water it very much. And this plant, you can kind of tell it's growing towards the light. And it's just, at this point, it's just how it's going to be because that's just what it is. But it is huge. Like I said, I don't hardly water this thing. It's been here its entire life from one little stick, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually it may need to be divided. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on that when the time comes, but the stems just keep multiplying right in through here, if you can see that, and it is just flourishing quite well. So let's go ahead over here and check out the window and show you what's going on. Over here by the window, some of my favorite plants to grow in this little location here. You can tell this is just a typical bathroom. A window has a little bit of the plastic covering on it to kind of keep some of the glare down and a little more privacy, etc. But I mean, this is an east-facing window. It gets great morning sun. Then it's just, filtered partial sun the rest of the day. And what I love about this window is actually was able to get some of this recycled, repurposed some little wooden slats here and made this little makeshift little shelf right here. Excuse me. And you just give yourself some more room to grow. And I've actually considered placing maybe a hanging basket or hanging pot kind of up underneath this this curtain here. And I would be actually utilizing this upper space of this window up here, which would help just to maximize all of the effort of growing in the bathroom. However, I don't want to block all the sunlight as I do have the other plants growing adjacent like I just showed you, so I don't want to steal all the light and block it out. So another thing to consider when growing plants and trying to maximize all your space in your home. So let's go ahead and check this out. This is, I forget the Latin name. This is, I believe, called Polynesian ivy. And this plant is like from Indonesia, places like the South Pacific. It thrives in a wet, humid, low light environment. This stuff is doing amazing. And actually, quick story, this was one plant, and I kind of just actually knocked the pot over and basically broke the tip of it off. So all I did was just stick the other tip. I believe this was the original plant. This was the growing tip. I just stuck it in the dirt, nothing else special, and it is taken off. So this plant is very, very easy to grow. Loves the windowsill right here, doing fantastic. Okay, so plant you also all recognize this is just the snake plant, Sansevieria. It's just fantastic for this location. Last year, I had this entire windowsill actually full of nothing but snake plants that I divided and propagated. So do check out that video about how to divide a very overgrown pot full of those snake plants. I think you'll like it. It's a really good video. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description for that if you're interested in growing and dividing your own snake plants. Now this right here is just a velvet leaf philodendron. It had kind of a hard life. This is actually just a cutting, and it was in a bad location. It wasn't getting a lot of light, so I moved it here to this spot, and it's doing much better. I just repotted it as it was in a kind of a heavier, more waterlogged soil, which is a no-no for your philodendrons and aroids in general. So hopefully it does kind of perk back up. I did put this little bamboo stick on there for it to kind of vine up, as it was, like I mentioned, in a really horrible location. It was kind of being neglected and shaded out by a bunch of other stuff. But check it out. This is actually one of my favorite plants, just because if you see this plant and the contrast with the, well, it's not going to show very well, the little purple on the back of the leaves is pretty cool once it starts to grow and become a little more healthy. So looking down here on the bottom shelf here, now everybody knows these plants. They're pretty common. This is an Easter cactus and a Thanksgiving cactus or Christmas cactus, whichever one. They're all similar. But however, look at the leaf on this one, very round. This one here, jagged. So they will probably bloom at different times of year, at least they're supposed to. They do fantastic right here. I've grown, these are actually just some cuttings I've taken. They're doing quite well. These plants actually are from the Atlantic rainforest of Brazil. So hot, humid, understory plants. They're actually epiphytes, so they grow like on trees and moist moss and things like that. So this environment here is what they want. All right, don't believe that they are a cactus, like a true cacti, and put them out in bright, full sun, out in the hot, unfiltered, just bright sun. It will actually destroy them, and I can show you the evidence of that where I kind of neglected one plant, and I'll show you some sunburn damage on a Christmas cactus if you want to see that coming up in a different video. And this plant here, this is actually called Streptocarpus. It's fantastic. It's in bloom right now. It loves this environment as well. It's related to an African violet. So if you grow African violets, maybe consider growing one of these Streptocarpus. And I just noticed this here. I don't know how I missed it. That's some kind of weed. Do you guys know what this is? I have no idea. If you know what it is, leave a comment down below what it could possibly be. But there you go. I probably need to pull that out. I'm not really even sure what that could be, but kind of curious to let it grow a little bit. Maybe I can identify it, but it's probably just going to steal some moisture and nutrients from the plant overall. But, there you go. So let's go ahead and wrap this video. All right, guys. So thanks for hanging out in the bathroom with me. Things I never thought I'd say in my life on YouTube in front of other people. But hey, you know what? It was kind of fun. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, check it out. Some more plants behind me. Like I said, that's just a little window. The plants are thriving. So if you are a houseplant enthusiast and you want to maximize every inch of space in your home for growing, consider growing some stuff in your bathroom. Some plants will actually thrive, if not actually do better in this environment than if they were a bright, sunny window downstairs. All right, guys, so thanks again for hanging out with me here on the hillside. Until next time, bye-bye.